The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good Tuesday evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is David Rodgers. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I am your host, David Rodgers, right alongside my other host, the Byron Bagwell. And to our right over here, out of the camera frame, is the dancing destroyer himself, Super Dave Holland. Great to have you along, guys. Great to have you guys. Hey, before we get started, I want to ask you, Dave, start with you real quick, brother, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
How was your weekend? How was your week and your weekend? Anything exciting or anything new? What'd you do this weekend?
Well, here lately,
Uh-huh.
my life has been anything other than exciting.
I got you. Explain.
My medical issues have got me kind of 80% locked down.
I got you.
70%.
And you don't have to get into all that, but
Yeah. You know, on a rainy day, it's always nice to sit around and watch cowboy movies.
You got that from me, didn't you? All right. B, let me ask you the same question before we get started. How was your week and your weekend? I know we've talked a couple of times. We did have breakfast at Granny's on Sunday, but what did you do? What anything?
Well, not much. Saturday after 12 straight days of work and being utterly exhausted, I stayed up till about 1:30 Friday night trying to get stuff done. So I didn't have a whole lot to do Saturday, and it ended up being not a whole lot getting done until Sunday.
After breakfast?
Yeah, day after breakfast, I went over to Mom and Dad's house.
Yeah.
Talked to them about their vacation to South America, which they had a really good time on.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah, and, 18 days and a nice cruise. Yeah, yeah.
Strait of Magellan and all that good stuff.
Magellan, they had a good time. So
I hear you.
I did that for a little while, and I come back home and I did the rest of the stuff I needed to do around the house. Normal, everyday upkeep stuff that you're supposed to be doing. That I honestly did not have a chance to do with 12 straight days of work.
Well, and that's true. Sometimes you got to play catch up, and I sort of did that a little bit this weekend as well. I definitely wanted to go to this this Forge thing that they had this past weekend, which we'll talk about. Dave actually talked with Jacob this afternoon, and he explained that we were all busy and everything, and I'll get into what they did here in a little bit.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say, Jacob, if you're watching this tonight or you watch the replay of this on YouTube, we both really wanted to come to that.
Yeah, we did.
Life happened.
Yes, it does. And, I got involved with some things, so did you. And, sometimes, man, like you said, life happens and we have to move on. But I didn't really do a whole bunch. I did some things around the house inside. Of course, the weather wasn't the greatest. And, I didn't get a chance to do some of the things I wanted to do outside. I wanted to clean up some and do some weed eating and stuff like that. Didn't get a chance to do that. But we did get a chance to, to do some other things in the house. And so, hey, we're here now and we're good to go. Another start of a great work week. I know that it's not so great for you because you're on call right now.
It's
but it is what it is.
It's all good. I wish you wouldn't have said that out loud because now the stupid phone's going to.
Oh my goodness! I forgot to tap. I forgot to tap.
Find some tap.
Let me get some tap.
Don't get me wrong.
I know you will
take the money. That's not an issue. It's just that.
Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. But we've got a lot of things to discuss and talk about. It is Super Tuesday. I'm going to let Byron get into that here a little bit in his segment. We've got some follow-up stories, Byron. We've got some things going on in the community, and we've got a couple of topics that me and you discussed the last couple of days that we want to get into, and one was really compelling and shocking to me, and then you did some research on it too. And I don't want to give away don't let the cat in the bag.
Well, let's talk about that one first, and then let's talk about a certain Supreme Court decision.
Yeah,
and then we can talk about Super Tuesday, and the Supreme Court decision will lead into that, because I've got some real serious questions about what the Supreme Court decided.
Yeah. We're hoping that the weather holds out for us, and on our connection here, if you do lose us or if we lose you, we'll try to come back. And if it gets too bad, sometimes Byron and Dave, y'all know as well as I do, we cut the show, and we will come back to it.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. I rode by the fair, and we'll get into that here. I rode by the fair. Those rides are still going. They're going. I don't know how many people out there. There was a bunch of cars out there, but we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But let's get the show started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night from Mr. Byron Bagwell, or the Byron Bagwell as we call him. So everybody at home, if you'll please bow your head and let's go into prayer. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day and night you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for this evening as I could be with my brotherhood, the Byron Bagwell, Mr. Dave Holland, the Dancing Destroyer, Mitchell Gunner, who can't be here but is part of our sister page, and everybody that's watching, dear Lord, whether you're abroad or whether you're away out of the States, thank you for tuning in to On the Spot with David Rodgers, and dear Lord, keep helping us bless this show as we give out the information that each and every one that is listening takes that information and they take it, decipher it, and use it as they need to, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, dear Lord, the United States of America. Yes, dear Lord, we have our own issues and our own problems and things that we need to fix. But with your guiding hand and your touching and your healing, we can make this country great again. Thank you, dear Lord, for our armed forces, each and every one of those men and women that serve each and every day. And they go out there and put their lives on the line, whether they are, like I said, abroad or away, dear Lord. Keep a hedge of protection over them and let them come back to be with their families, dear Lord. They're out there fighting domestic and international terrorism, dear Lord, and every other thing that is a hindrance to this great country, dear Lord, that you just keep them on your top of your list. Thank you for our first responders, each and every one of those young men and women that are out there serving each and every day, so we can go home at night or in the afternoon or whatever that may be, dear Lord, and we know that we're safe from whatever criminal activity, whatever has come to harm us, dear Lord, that you are keeping an eye on them, dear Lord, and a hand on them as they continue to serve all our great communities in this great country. Thank you for our great workers, dear Lord, each and every one of them. Everybody that gets up every morning and makes America spin and makes America run, dear Lord. From our railroad workers, our truck drivers, our warehouse workers, our steel manufacturers, our medical drivers, anybody, dear Lord, that's out there doing what they need to do, dear Lord, please keep a blessing on them and keep a hedge of protection over them as they do their job. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, you know what's on their mind and in their heart, dear Lord. Please put your guiding hand and your healing hand on them, dear Lord, and make sure that they try to overcome what it is that they are in need of. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day as it goes to the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Thank you for this great night. Thank you for this great week. Thank you for my comrades, dear Lord. Thank you for everybody that's tuning in, and that each and every one of them have a great week. We ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, and the congregation says,
Amen.
Amen. Let us stand, and I'm going to ask the Byron Bagwell if he'll lead us in that pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for tuning in to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I am your host, David Rodgers, right along with my other host, the Byron Bagwell, sitting to my right here, with his beautiful hair ponytailed up, is the Dancing Destroyer himself. They coming around and let everybody see you real quick. The Dancing Destroyer himself, This is my main man right here. He directs and produces the show. Here he is, Mr. Dave Holland. This is him right here, brother. He don't get on camera a lot, but I wanted him to come around, and I wanted everybody to see his pretty face, right, B?
Yeah, well, if you can put our ugly bugs
on here. Well, yeah, I'll put him on here. Hey,
yeah,
was
right.
that was a slice on you, Dave. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only
That
kidding.
was a smack at both of us.
Yes, it was. Big time smack on both of us. But
All
anyway,
right. Ladies and gentlemen,
go ahead.
I love my brother. We're off the rails.
We're off the rails. We're off the rails already,
It's
like we
good.
were last week, but it's all good. So let's go to our patriotic quote of the night, B. I know you picked out at least one or two, but for sure one. Let us know what you got.
Sure.
Yes.
Those who are able to see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed by the masses. Those who are able to see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed by the masses. It is not a founding father, and I will give everybody a hint.
Okay.
This is a philosopher.
A philosopher. Dave Holland.
Yeah.
He's up there with those guys.
He is up there with those guys. I'm not sure, B. I'm going to take a stab. Let me go with, I'm going to guess the wrong one. There probably ain't none of them. I'll go with Aristotle.
Okay, that's a good guess. And
Plato.
you're in the right ballpark, and you are too.
We guessed the wrong one.
Let's see if the people will.
Okay, let's see if the people can answer it.
Answer that.
While they're doing that, B, hey, we're welcoming in Dwight Allen. He says, "Good evening, fellow patriots." Dwight, how did you like what I sent you in Messenger? Ain't that the damn truth? Excuse my French.
Oh, Lord.
Johnny Waterson is watching, my main man. Johnny, I haven't had a chance to reach out to that young man, but I will, I assure you. Shirley Bagwell, I have not called you. I need to call you. I'm hoping to see you on Thursday, depending on how everybody feels. But I'm glad you're back. I know Shelley and Autumn's talked to you. I love each and every one of you. Olivia Hill's watching from, guess where? Ghana.
Wow.
She's in Africa.
Hello.
Hello, Olivia. And so I hope you enjoy. Liz Tillery Holland's watching, your daughter-in-law.
Oh no, I've got your bowl at the house still, Liz.
Do I have one too? I may have one.
I've had that on my counter in a bag to bring back here
Has it been a while?
for 2 months now.
Oh, geez, then maybe that you have it. Okay. Josh Collier's watching. Mark Udy's watching. Hello there, sir. Teresa Ray Prescott, hello there. Ashley Moore's watching. Of course, Miss Shirley Bagwell. Ellen Disher-Williams is watching. Hello, fellow patriots, and hello to you, my fellow patriot. Hope you're doing okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
And children of all ages. And the millions.
Of patriots.
Miscreants.
No, that's the last one.
Oh, infidels.
Infidels and miscreants. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Michael Hall. Becky Thompson's watching. Drew Mullins is watching. What's up, Drew? Denny Ray Molale is watching. You know who that is. Denny Ray. That's Roger's sister. Thank you for that. Amen. J.E.D. in Norman, my brother, that helps me out with the DJing service. By the way, J.D., I've got to call you and talk to you about a couple of things. Robert McGee is on. You know Robert.
Hey, Robert, how's it going, man?
What's going on, Robert? Donnie Thornton's watching. My brother, you are. Shirley Bagwell says, hi, Dave Holland. I love you, brother, too.
Hey.
Yep. Dwight Allen says Socrates.
So we've got Plato, Socrates, and you said Aristotle.
Yep.
And the reason he probably guessed Aristotle was because there may be a book sitting on the table that was written by Aristotle.
Yes.
I think.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I didn't think I was
Yeah.
that out of my head today.
Dwight Allen says, yes, sir, David. Hello, folks. Hey, brother, Mitchell Gunner's watching. And McGee said Winston Churchill.
Oh, yeah, well, I'd take...
You'd take any of those guesses.
I would call Churchill a philosopher.
Sure, I would too.
But yes, no, David Holland had it right. It's Plato.
Okay, it's Plato.
It's Plato.
Nice, David. My
Plato.
goodness.
Right.
So we had a choice of the three, and Dwight's guess was good. We all had a pretty good guess.
Okay, now, I'm going to go ahead and say this is an author. Here's another one for you.
Okay.
The truth has no defense against a fool determined to believe a lie. The truth has no defense against a fool determined to believe a lie.
Male or female author?
Oh, come on now. Come on.
Well, I mean, that could be, anything.
American author.
American author, okay.
They give you a little bit more.
Okay, how about giving us a book he wrote?
No. No. Give it away. I will tell you that he wrote under a surname.
Okay, I'm going to go with Mark Twain. Samuel L. Langhorne. So I'm going Samuel Langhorne. I'm going Mark Twain, David.
You know that.
You want to go with me?
I'm a
Okay. You're going to ride that train?
See, that gave it away. The only one that they know that has a surname is Mark Twain.
Oh, my Byron. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. I know you gave a little too much.
Honestly, that's not Mark Twain.
I know it isn't.
But it is Mark Twain.
Yeah. So I figured, either way.
It's Mark Twain.
He's been tough on us for several years.
But I'm going to tell you, he has. And he eased off. No, the last few, you've been a little tough on us, but we should have known them. I'm not saying we shouldn't have. These were a little bit more easier this time.
Okay, here's your one.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well, who is John Galt?
Who is John Galt?
Oh, man, come on now.
I know it. If you want me to answer it, you want them to answer it. I know. While y'all are answering that, Kim Lee's watching. Judith Young is watching, by the way. Dwight Allen said Twain. Shannon Smith's watching. And guess who's back? The model, Sharon Pettiprin. Welcome back, Sharon. Where is your husband? We've been wanting you to come back on the show. And guess what?
She's back.
She's back. And that's good. That's a good thing. I don't have any guesses here.
She must have been.
Oh, no. And everybody has heard of this author. They just made a book. They just made a movie a couple of years ago about probably one of the most important books to me that has ever been written in American literature. That is actually very close to the first line of the book. And it has to do...
Old Man Galt's son. Robert McGee.
Good grief. That's good, Robert.
That's good, Robert. Yeah.
If you saw the actual movie,
It's a good guess, Robert.
Advertisement.
Right.
You would think this movie had something really to do with trains, and it does in
In a way.
realistic way, but it really has more to do about something else. Oh, come on now. What is the name of the Titan that holds up the world? Oh, guys, come on now.
Do you want me to answer it, or are you waiting for them? I was hoping there was another guess here.
You know it, Dave?
Atlas?
There's the first part of it.
Yep.
The name of the book is Atlas.
Yep. Dwight Allen said Atlas, but there's another part to it.
Atlas. David knows it. I can see it in his face. The author was Ayn Rand.
Ryan. Yep.
Or Ayn Rand.
Rand.
Wow, I always stumble over her.
Celia Ennis is watching. Welcome in, Celia. Been a while since I've seen you and heard from you. Glad to have you on. Go ahead, D.
It's Atlas Shrugged.
Yes. Byron Bagwell, you going to be on the show next Tuesday? I'll bring you one of those blueberry rolls because, good gracious, that thing was amazing.
Wow.
Judith, if you bring one of those, I will promise you I will be here, whether I have to tell them I have to leave early or not. That thing looked unbelievably good.
There's better bring 3.
She better bring 3. I was just going to say. You better bring 3, Judith, or you can't come in the door, right?
Don't.
Byron's not going to get
Byron ain't gonna get none of it.
You might cause a fist fight over those things because if I eat one of them, I'm going to want them.
You're going to want the rest of them. But Dwight Allen said he's never watched it.
Faster than us.
Yep. Becky Knights is on. Jeff Goins from Georgia. Sue Yanis. Hey, I've been gone so long that Byron's hair has turned silver, Sharon Petterbrand said. Oh, boy.
Oh, it's time for me to do something about that.
Yeah, I was just going to say. And hey, she does strawberry original cookies and cream as well as Reese's peanut butter cups.
I cannot remember the name of the lady that does it, but she does it here locally.
She does.
Stark.
Yes, she does, and I can't remember.
My goodness, that thing looked unbelievable.
Boy, I'm going to tell you what, though. I ain't getting myself in trouble. Mrs. Bagwell sure does make some good cakes and cookies.
Have you ever seen her make a pastry?
Nope, but I tell you what, it would probably be pretty good if she did it.
No, she'll kill both of us for even suggesting that.
Well, I know she's going to kill both of us.
She don't like that.
She don't like that one. She don't want to do the pastries.
She can do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on, guys. As we're here on the spot with David Rodgers, 7:23 Eastern Time, local time here in Northeast Florida. David Rodgers, Byron Bagwell, Dave Holland. Let's move on. Got a lot to discuss. A lot of things going on in the community. A lot of things we talked about last week. Byron precluded to some things that we're going to talk about. So we're going to get that here in just a little bit as soon as we go over the local news. Byron, your hair looks good. Don't mess with it, she says. K3 Cakery.
Thank you.
Mrs. Bernstein is her name. Delisa Bernstein. How about that? There you go. Yeah, that sounds good.
Like I told you, Judith, one of my personal weaknesses is anything with blueberries in it. That
Me
thing
too.
looked unbelievably good.
So, want to get to a couple of items that we had last week. Let me start with the Lewis guys on their arrest over in Alachua County. They did lawyer up, as we said last week, and their trial has not officially begun yet, as I know of. And we'll see what comes out of that, whether it's jail time, prison time, whatever the case may be, or restitution. Don't know that yet. Depends on what their lawyer says. And you can comment on any of these stories. If you know a little more than we do, hey, we'd love to hear it, right, B? Absolutely. So I don't know much more about that. Y'all know the story. I sort of read it last week. And I tell you, not good news there, but hopefully everything comes to this conclusion and whatever needs to happen in that particular segment. Nicole Knipe is on. So did I say that right? Knipe, I think.
I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, she'll correct me if I'm wrong, for sure. So that is one thing that's going on in the community as far as big time names. The other one is, I want to read this to you. If you're not privy, and I know some guys don't get the Telegraph. Some people can't go out and get the Telegraph, B. Try to put, hey, but Doll, how you doing? You doing okay, Nicole? Good to have you on. So I want to talk about last week's deal over at City Hall where the FDLE, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, seizes documents during City Hall search. Let me read it real quick. It's not long. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement surprised city officials and all of City Hall by ordering the building closed while executing a search warrant last Tuesday morning. Everyone but City Clerk Jimmy Crosby and his deputy clerk was asked to leave and not return until 1 p.m. or after. FDLE reportedly asked for City Manager Drew Mullins along with the clerk to stay, according to Police Chief Jeff Johnson, but Mullins was away at a conference until Thursday. Johnson's arrival to turn over badges, keys, and other items at the same time FDLE entered was coincidental. He said he spoke with someone with FDLE who confirmed that their search did not involve the police department. FDLE has also been involved with the examination and transfer of evidence from the police department to the sheriff's office following the city commission's decision to contract law enforcement services to Sheriff Gordon Smith. Smith, who was only notified minutes before the warrant was served at City Hall, said that FDLE investigators who showed up today or then were from a separate division in Tallahassee, the Public Integrity Unit. Following the search, Smith was provided a receipt for 6 documents FDLA took from City Hall. He said that they are supposedly related to the 2021 city election. That was back in 2021, as I stated. Chief Johnson's was the only race to make it to the ballot. He won facing challenger Bill Murray. That was also the year Crosby and Scott Roberts, now serving as our mayor, or Stark City's mayor, took office without opposition. Commissioner Janice Mortimer also ran unopposed, Byron, and retained her seat. The city manager later provided a formal statement which read, "Today, FDLE conducted a search for certain documents at City Hall. At this time, no accusations of criminal wrongdoing have been made, and we have no further information. We will continue to work with the FDLE to provide any additional information or assistance they may need." Now, here we go. This is what was in the paper, and this, people's been asking me, Byron, the whole time. Do I know any more? No, I don't know any more, except what was put in this paper. Now, I don't know if you do. We haven't talked about it. I think we did mention it, and I don't know any more as far as details within those documents, and I don't know of any other investigations that are ongoing at this time.
We're not going to know.
We're not.
Unless you know somebody in the FDLE that's going to tell you.
Right.
Let this play out. I know it's hard to do. I know why people want to know about it. Mm-hmm. But let this play out. That is going down, I can almost promise you, is going down a rabbit hole.
Dwight Allen, real quick, Dwight Allen, yeah, the City Hall story, that's exactly right. We covered the Eddie Lewis deal last week, him and his son, which was public knowledge in the paper, read that article, and I just read you the article in the Bradford County Telegraph in case you didn't get a chance to read it. What was stated in the Bradford County Telegraph, I read it word for word. Again, Dave, we have no other knowledge. On the spot where David Rodgers has no other knowledge at this time, Byron, like Byron said, let it play out, of any other wrongdoings at this time. Do I think, personally, there's other investigations going on? Probably. There's possible.
Hey,
now, I don't know that for a fact. That's just my opinion and my opinion only.
When you start talking about FDLE, they are going to find something. Now, whether it's what you think it is, or whether it's something completely different that they found while they're there looking into that and happen to find something else.
Right.
We don't know that yet. Let it play out.
It could be several things. It could be
absolutely nothing.
I have a very hard time believing that FDLE shows up shutting the city hall down and it being nothing.
I agree. I'm just saying
it could be, but I have a very hard time believing that FDLE would waste that manpower and shut a city hall down if it was nothing.
Yeah, just let it play out.
Yeah,
we're going to have to, because we can sit here and talk about all sort of different things with different people in power. In not only in Stark, but in anywhere.
Right.
And know for a fact that they shouldn't be there, or that they've done this, or that they've done that. But until our justice system actually says, gotcha, and there's arrests, we don't know what they were looking for. We don't know who they were looking for information on.
Right.
If they were looking for information on somebody, or if they were looking for information on a group of people instead of just one person. So, I just...
Again, as Byron said, let this thing play out. Let's let it play out.
Let it play out.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem with the person that's being talked about the most, we need to find somebody that's good with finance and run against him the next time that the election's there, because that's why he's there now, because nobody ran against him.
Mr. DuBosa's on. Bobby Harden's on. Terry Johnson's on. Judith Young. Yes, Miss Bernstein said, hey, give her some kisses and some hearts there, for sure. Dwight Allen, opinion, and I agree. He says, I don't trust the clerk. And that's Dwight's opinion. And that, hey, look, it is what it is. I don't mind that comment here. That's his opinion, and that's what this show's about. It's about what you think and your opinion. I'm just reading off comments.
Dwight reached that opinion from a logical standpoint using reason. I mean, all you have to do is look at his history.
But
And there's a reason not to.
Byron, can I say this? Dwight Allen and probably several others reached that conclusion 3 years ago.
And was wondering why nobody else would run against him.
Right.
It baffles me. I'm telling you, if I'd have had the financial knowledge that my mother has, and I would have been a citizen of Stark, I would have run against him.
Yeah.
That race. But I don't. I don't have the knowledge to do that, and I don't live here. But nobody seemed to want to do anything about it. They knew he was running. Why is he in?
If you put a criminal in office, there's a 50-50 chance that he's going to continue to be a criminal or clean his act up.
Yes.
That's a true statement.
Well, look, and people will have a problem with saying that who he's talking about, who I'm not going to name, is a criminal. But in the truest sense of the word, that is absolutely correct. Because a criminal is a person who has committed a crime, whether he's paid for it or not.
He or she.
That's
Doesn't matter. Yeah, and
Doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Anthony Black's watching. Hey, Anthony, how you doing? From Tallahassee there. Mine, your favorite place, B, by the way. Right? We got a team over there, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Did you see what our players did? They're going into the NFL.
NFL?
Oh, my good
Grief. David Verse is going to be a beast and an animal, son.
not Trisk.
Fisk.
Fisk. Oh, he's an interior defensive lineman. Look at what the man did in the 40 and his high jump and long jumps and everything else.
David Verse ran a 4.38 40, 265 pounds. He bench pressed 250 pounds 31 times in a row. Oh, man, that's an athlete.
Look at what Benson did, and then you look at what why can't I ever remember the name?
Yeah, I know Coleman.
Keon Coleman did. And people go, they didn't belong there?
Yeah, they belonged. Becky Dugan, thank you for watching. Glad to see you. Hope you and your husband are doing okay. Scott Munning said, needs some tiramisu ones. Ooh.
That's another
That's
thing
another
I really
one.
love, but good grief at the caffeine in that dessert.
Yeah. It should have been this is from Ella Disher Williams. It should have been the police department. My grandson is still having therapy over the abuse he suffered at the daycare across from the high school. While the daycare was allowed to be quietly shut down with video evidence documenting abuse, no charges ever filed. Only answer we kept getting was, the paper is at the prosecutor's office. I guess it's who you know. Meanwhile, my grandchildren will not get justice, or the other children that were abused.
Now, Ellen, what you need to do is you need to call the prosecutor and continuously call the prosecutor and tell them that you want charges filed.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's in their hands, they normally take into account, especially with a minor, what the victim's family wants. So I would, and it doesn't need to be you. It needs to be your grandkid's mom or their dad, one of the two. Yeah. And they need to constantly call that prosecutor and demand that there's something to be done about it.
Right, let's see. Scott Munnings, oh snap, got me thinking. Miss Bernstein said now she may come up with a tiramisu one. Dwight Allen, exactly, brothers. Yeah, that's exactly right. I think we hit that on the head. Gail Allen's watching. You know Gail Allen? Of course you know Gail. Yeah. So, Olivia said that's true. I'm not sure which one she's meaning on, but she can specify. Look at the ones in Washington, specifically the one that is the president. We're going to get into that here in just a little bit. as we go, unless you want to hit it right now.
I'm going to tell you this. I don't have as much of a problem with Joe Biden as I have with the political party that put a man that has dementia in power to run the greatest country in the world.
Yep.
I have an issue with anybody that has the moral values to use a man who is not capable of running this country in that position and using him as a puppet. And he can't walk up a flight of stairs. He can't ride a bicycle. He can't remember his own name sometimes. How do you look at yourself at nighttime and can accept that you allowed that to happen? How can we as moral people sit back and look at that and not come up with, you're corrupt and moralless, because the man is being used. He never was a good politician in the first place. He was corrupt to begin with, but now he's not in his right mind, and that is not right at all. And that's what we should be talking about, not the fact of what he does. It's the fact that he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's not the one that's doing it.
Yeah, and Dwight Allen has got it, and I didn't want to get onto this just yet.
I'm sorry.
No, brother. You're good. You're good.
The more this goes into his term, the more I really honestly, it's not Joe Biden. Joe Biden's not there anymore. That's not Joe Biden anymore. That he's there about a quarter of the time, and the rest of the time he's not himself. So that tells me that if you watch him, you know it. That tells me that somebody else is running the country when he's the one that's supposed to be running the country, and he's the one that was elected. That's not how a presidency is supposed to work. I mean, it's bottom line, David. I'm sorry.
I know.
It's
It's
moralist.
okay.
It's moralist. It's morally depraved
Yeah.
to use somebody like that.
Yeah, and I agree. And again, I know, man, it gets you upset and it gets you boiling, and it gets me too. And I have to keep some control here. You know that, right? You know that. And look,
Go ahead and finish what you were doing.
yeah,
brother.
that's okay. That's okay. Hey, we're good here. So we're going to move on. We're going to get into that for sure. I just didn't want to get into it this early. Yeah. And that's okay. That's okay, because we see comments come, and I want to answer the comments.
Yeah.
So, let's see. It's all about control. Yes, agree. Joe Biden is not running this country. Amen, Byron. I am still stunned that Biden won that election. Of course. How can he pass his physical? Don't know. Chris Davis is watching. I don't know who's giving the physical. Personal opinion.
His wife.
Yeah, there you go. We got ourselves into this with a two-party system. Some independents really need some consideration. Both sides intentionally keep us divided to keep us distracted. That comes from Scott Munnings.
Scott, you in order to break the two-party system, you have to break the bureaucracy that's behind it in Washington, D.C., and that's going to be very hard to do. If you really want to break it all, get rid of the Fed and go back to the gold standard and watch how fast all of that starts to end up there. But the last person that tried to do that was shot because of it, and he was one of our presidents, and that was Robert F. Kennedy. Or Robert Kennedy, not Robert F.
John.
Kennedy. John F. Kennedy,
John F.
excuse me. So, and people can say what they want to, but when he started talking about that, it was not long until he was not with us anymore.
Okay, so exploitation, poor Joe, that's Alicia Redding. When they say it isn't, when it isn't to be prosecuted, but he's still fit to be president, is ridiculous. That comes from Dwight. David Versace, welcome in. Hello to you, sir. Ellen Disher Williams, got the angry face up there, and the other thing. Tom Bailey's watching, and he didn't win, he cheated. And we all know that, and that's exactly right.
Look, it's like it's about like talking about Jan 5th.
Yeah.
What is the word that they call it all the time? It was an insurrection. No, that was not an insurrection. I am sorry. That was a bunch of goons inside.
No, I agree.
Inside the Congress building. That's all that was a bunch of people walking around that were let in.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that, Ellen Disher Williams, about President Trump and safety and all that stuff there. Tatum Davis is watching. How about that? Welcome in, Tatum. It's been a while.
What is it?
Yes. Raymond Rhodes
That
is
would
watching.
be, honestly, that would be my guess. Would be him and his cronies.
Yeah, could be. Tom Bailey says JFK's nephew is running for president.
That's all I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that.
He's not JFK.
No. He's not. So let me just get into some local news and we'll get into some more of this stuff. I want to talk about the Bradford County Fair that's going on. People wanted me to talk about that just a little bit. Rode by there today. It's a rainy and wet night. But, man, the rides were still going by and everything was still kicking up. They're out there. The dadgum parking lot was full. So, look, I'm going to talk about it just a little bit. It started tonight. They had the ribbon cutting ceremony. 84th Annual Bradford Agricultural Fair. Buckets of fun. General admission to your 2024 fair. Listen to this. Adults, Tuesday through Thursday is $7 to get in. Cost me, you, and him $7. Students, $6 Tuesday through Thursday, and $10 Friday and Saturday, entertainment included. Children 4 and under are free. They say buckets of fun. Parking's $5. Portion of the parking fees will go to the Bradford Sheriff's Office Explorers, post toward their conference expenses. Weekly admissions, $30 each, provides a generous savings over the daily admission rates. The weekly general admission passes will be available at the fair ticket office. If not purchased in advance from the places below, they must be purchased at the main ticket gate initially and will be honored at all admission gates after initial purchase. No further discounts on weekly passes. Ride, armbands, and weekly passes available for the following locations until Monday, March the 4th, which is too late now. So now you got to pay the door prices that are sitting there as well. The fair ticket office in Building 1. All ticket types will be available Saturday, March the 2nd through the 4th through the 5th. We missed that. Saturday, March the 9th, 2 p.m. till 11. Sunday, March 11th is Family Day over there, David. 1 p.m. to closing, weather permitting. $5 admission, 3 and under free, $18 unlimited ride armbands there. Byron, I figure you're going to ride some rides over there. Possibly. An armband is required for anyone riding rides.
That sounds pretty
regardless
good,
of ages.
Bucks.
Sunday prices and midway hours are determined by the attractions themselves. Tuesday, $19 Tuesday. Unlimited ride armbands, $19. Boy, it's raining out there. Military or active or retired, free admission with your ID. Wednesday is unlimited ride armbands as well for $19. Thursday is a buddy night. That means me, you, and Dave can go. Unlimited ride armbands, $19 for one person, $27 for two. Both parties must be present to purchase those buddy armbands, so make sure you have a partner. Of course, Midnight Madness on Friday, armbands are $24, 5 to close. Saturday, unlimited ride armbands, $28, 2 p.m. to close, and then the Family Fun Day, of course. So make sure you go out and visit the Bradford County Fair. They sure could use the great attendance, man, and I know tonight's is not going to probably work out well. I mean, it's raining and it's wet, and you know how that midway gets when it gets that way.
Well, last year they didn't have much for animals, but this year they are loaded down with animals.
Right. Go ahead.
Here's a little bit of a sports question. What do we think about the USC quarterback and what he's doing at the combine? You know about much about what Caleb
Williams is doing? I do.
Have you heard anything about it? What's your opinion on all that?
So, I personally started disliking him when he started calling his shots on what team he wants to go to, and I'm not playing for this or playing for that. Do I think he's a great athlete, a phenomenal athlete? I don't think he's phenomenal. I think he's a good athlete. I think he can throw the ball well. I think he's got a great head on his shoulders, but I'm not overly impressed of what he's done to me. If anybody else got a different opinion on that, they can go ahead and say it.
Well, last year, all you got to do is look at USC, and you'll figure out just how great he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good quarterback. I give him that. But I can tell you this. If he goes in the first 2 or 3 picks like he's wanting to go to whatever team he wants to go, one name, and that's Ryan Leaf.
Yep.
Watch what happens, because he is a prime example of a person. And by the way, I think Ryan Leaf had a bucket more potential than this guy
Absolutely.
does. When you don't have your head screwed on right, and he doesn't, and you go to the NFL, it will eat you alive.
That head will be taken off by a defensive end that's coming, some edge rusher that's coming around the corner, hitting you in the blind side, and you're going to wish that you had eyes in the back of your head.
Well, you won't even make it on the field most of the time
No.
if you can't get your head right,
You're
David.
right.
And all this talk about making $700 million and all this other nonsense he's talking.
Yeah. All right.
outta here.
Yeah, get out of here with that. 7:48 Eastern Time. David Rodgers, Byron Bagwell, the Dave Holland. Hey, man, I use the Dave Holland, but he's really the Dancing Destroyer, Super Dave Holland. Welcome into the show. That's about all I really had, except the Bradford County Strawberry Festival coming in. There's some other stuff in the Telegraph, but I want to get on to some of our subjects while we got a little time here and while I've got everybody on. The Bradford County Strawberry Festival is coming March 23rd and 24th at the Fairgrounds at 2300 North Temple Avenue and Start. Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 5. Saturday is going to be a car show. Got to talk to Mitchell. He reached out to me. Me and you're going to be running a car show.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
This
and
Saturday?
Dave, no, March the 23rd and 24th Saturday. We're going to be running a car show.
I'm going to have to let you know if I can.
Yeah,
do that.
well, at least
Because
I'm going to be running a car show.
Maybe on
And
call, David.
Yeah.
I may have to try to get that off. Do that Saturday off.
That's
so I can cover
fine.
it.
I mean, I can cover it. I'll have some help, and of course, we'll have some people out there. He's got a race that day, is why he can't.
He can't.
Make it. So, circus, 3 shows each day. So they're going to have a circus out there.
Oh, wow.
Starring Byron Bagwell and Dave Holland as their main attractions over there. Blacksmith demonstration both days. Jacob Underhill, and I'll talk to him here. Talk about him in just a minute. There's going to be a kids area. It's going to be a lot of fun. Strawberries, the sweetest strawberries this side of heaven is what is the motto.
Yeah.
Better than Plant Cities.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, that definitely to me, definitely Plant Cities. Nothing against Plant City, Dave,
No.
but I think our strawberries are the sweetest and the best. And why do you think people come up here and attend our strawberry festival? Because that's exactly the product they're going to get. They're going to get the sweetest strawberries this side of heaven. Me and Byron Bagwell, we love strawberries, and we're going to go get us a flat or two, ain't we, B?
Yeah.
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 To my mother to make a cake out of.
There you go. There you go. Talking about Jacob Underhill real quick. He was our special guest last week. Dave had his knives up there, and we talked to him. What a great interview that was. And he's Underhill's Forge. They were having an event this past Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, Byron apologized for us. Sorry we could not be out there. They had a good turnout according to the information. You got some pictures, Dave?
Yeah, he sent me a
Yeah, did he?
couple shots.
Yeah, let's look at them.
One of those shots, he wanted to show that whatever you call it, that's made into a ribbon.
Yes.
I don't know what to call it. But
Yeah. Let's take a look at it, Dave. We're going to bring up some pictures. Oh!
Yeah.
What is
Wrought
that?
iron.
Yes. Look at that. That's a great piece right there. That's something that Jacob and then did this weekend.
Nice.
That's very nice right there. Great work right there by Jacob and some of those. And, hey, we were talking about he's really a blacksmith, bladesmith, but really a bladesmith. He really got into that. But they had an event this past weekend. Over 50 blacksmiths, Byron, were there. And they raised $5,271.
Great.
And that is all going to the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation in Tampa, Florida. He was looking for a $15,000 goal, Byron. If he could get it, he got a third of that. I think that's great. I know that the money has been given to that organization. So I want to thank Jacob and his staff right here. As you can see some pictures. Some of the blacksmiths and bladesmiths that were out there. There's a trophy there, David. I'm not sure what that trophy's about, but can you see it? Can you make it out? I can't tell, B. Can you? It looks like the state runner-up trophy from Bradford.
You talk about that?
Yes, sir.
That's an old guy with a long gray beard.
That's an old guy with a long gray beard. Okay, it looks like a trophy, doesn't it?
I think that's your shirt.
That's my eyes. That's my eyes bothering me there. Anyway, that's good. Oh my goodness, hey, that guy's a trophy. No, that's a guy with a long beard. Oh my gosh, B. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe I said that. But anyway, they raised look at Byron on his head now. Oh my goodness.
We'll call him a trophy.
We'll call him a trophy. He may have won a trophy. But anyway.
I hope you're watching, Jacob.
Yeah, I hope you're watching, Jacob. That just went off the rails. But anyway, he did a good thing. We're going to see him at the Strawberry Festival, David.
Yeah.
We're going to be out there. I hope Byron can make it with us. We'll just have to see how that weekend goes. We're going to try to do a show from there. We're not y'all talked me out of going real close to it. We're going bang, bing. We need to be away from that. But we're going to go over and check it out. And he's going to come over and talk to us.
Sure.
So we're going to talk to some of the circus acts and all that. So join us on March the 23rd and 24th at the fairgrounds, right where the fair is going on right now, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 5 for the Strawberry Festival. A lot of other things cooking on the events circuit. We've got spring break coming up during that particular week when the Strawberry County Strawberry Festival is going on. And other things as well, David, that's coming down the pike. So make sure you tune in to where, Byron? The Bradford North Florida Regional Chamber of Commerce events page. It'll tell you everything. She's got everything listed that's coming up to include meetings with Altrusa, with city commission meetings, county commission meetings, things like that you want to be aware of. You can catch that on the North Florida Regional Chamber of Commerce page as Pam Whittle and her staff, and of course all the elected officers that we've seen when we went to the banquet dinner that they held. When was that? February? It was early February, wasn't it? February 4th? It's been a little over a month. It's a little over a month. And we had a good time there, and some of those officers that are transitioning in.
I don't have anything against RFK. I don't. I just don't. Some of the things, some of his policies, I don't like. And Donnie, I think, said something about he's right about the vaccines that were mandated for COVID, and you're right. He is absolutely right about those vaccines. But there's still some things about Kennedy that I just don't care for. But that's my opinion. The other thing is you're never going to see him on a ballot unless he runs independent. That's a shame, because honestly, probably be the best Democrat out there. He's definitely got the most sense out of any of them.
Alan Disher Williams says they're about out of options. Dirty FBI and CIA plan January the 6th. I happen to agree with you, Dwight Allen, along with some others that is involved, i.e. George Soros and those bunch, and everybody else that is Trump. Can I say haters? Trump non-supporters. Okay, let me use that so Facebook don't get me off of here. And
honestly, I'm going to tell you the statement that Donald Trump made in one of his recent ads is absolutely true. They're not after Donald Trump. They're after us. He is just the person that's in the way.
Good. That's a good call.
They don't only hate Donald Trump, they hate us.
Not an insurrection. Liberals dressed as Trump supporters. Hear that, Ray Epps. David Rasaja, exactly right. Frank Cruz is watching. What do you think about the U.S.? Okay, we already went into there. Again, I gave you my opinion. He gave his opinion. Byron Bagwell says, definitely, brother. Rob Clayton is watching. Rob, it's been a while since I seen you, brother. You still up in Moultrie, Georgia? Hope everything is going well there. Donnie Wiggs is watching. watching from South Georgia and watching Gators versus Bama. Dual tasking. Yes, big-time basketball game right there, right? It's going to determine SEC tournament seedings and also national seedings as well. So, yes, very important game. Alabama took it in the shorts on Saturday night against Tennessee. Byron, somebody asked me today who I thought the best team in the SEC was, and I think it's Tennessee. I think they're the most complete team. They got that Dalton Connect guy. To me, he's the player of the year, with the exception of the kid that plays at Purdue, the Udy kid or whatever his name is.
I can't remember.
The big, tall kid.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dalton Connect can play. I think Tennessee is the best team in the SEC, followed by Alabama and maybe Florida or Auburn, somewhere in there. That's a big-time game. Not sure who's winning that. But we're going to get into some of that, Byron, as the tournament comes. Like we broke it down last year, we're going to get into some of that. My grandbaby Holly will have a booth. She won Miss Little Bradford Fest. She's only 18 months old. D.A. Dennis Cruz, absolutely perfect. And we're going to come out there and we'll see her. Yeah, absolutely we'll see her. So great job there, D.A. Dennis Cruz. His daddy is the one calling the shots. He's talking about Caleb Williams' daddy's calling the shots.
He's about us.
Yeah. I remember a daddy calling the shots for 3 good basketball players that I thought were really good basketball players. If you remember a couple of years ago, a couple of them are still in the league, and he almost ruined those boys' career, and I can't, Byron, on my head. You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
Yes.
It was the three, and maybe somebody can tell me who that is. I just can't remember their name. Looking forward to the Strawberry Festival. Dave Holland is Diamond Dave Holland, Frank Cruz said. Yeah, of course he is. But we call him the Dancing Destroyer here. Have you ever seen his dance moves? Man, I tell you, buddy.
He can't sing like the other Diamond Dave, though.
No. Diane Tomlinson's watching. Thank you, Diane, for tuning in. Check out Rod Crawford's Strawberry Farm in Lardy. His berries are delicious, and he has you can pick, and you're absolutely right. The Crawfords can grow some strawberries. I ain't lying. Always have, and they still doing it. Ellen's right. Donnie Wick said, hey, B.
Hey.
That's awesome. I have a custom blade done by Jacob. I got it last year, and let me tell you, it is a quality piece, and I wouldn't doubt that.
I don't doubt that at all.
Look, man, we showed those pictures, man, and everything that we seen, Byron, was nothing but quality.
Yeah.
So, I've had Georgia berries. Can't touch Bradford berries, though. Nope, I agree. What do you all have against RFK Jr.? He answered the question. I don't have anything against him. I'm with Byron. I think he's probably the smartest and the most knowledgeable Democrat out there. I don't have anything personally with him.
Other than he wants my guns.
Guns? Yeah.
I mean, that's enough.
He wants your guns too, Tom. I'm assuming you own guns. I mean, I don't have a riff with him. Thank you, Jacob. Good night, everyone. God bless America. Dwight, I wish you wouldn't get off so early. Maybe we need to start the show a little earlier. Problem is, man, sometimes it's hard. I know for us to get here, bro.
It's hard for me to get in here.
Yeah, me too, man. Hey, I was running a little bit late, too. It's 8 o'clock Eastern time. Glad to have you guys on. RFK Jr. is correct about the, about the injection. Yeah, absolutely.
Vaccines.
S.A. Sheffield is watching. You know, he's a big Bradford.
Scott, what's going on?
He's a big Bradford Tornado football fan.
I know.
He listens to us all the time, dude. I know.
I went to school with Scott.
Yeah,
We've known
Scott
each
is
other
a
for
good
long
dude,
time.
yeah.
Remember my brother.
Shout out to Jimmy Crosby for stealing from
No.
people. That was a comment. I just read the comment and probably shouldn't have, but hey, that's your opinion, Donnie. Hey, look, this is what this show's all about, me. It's about your opinion. I didn't say it. You didn't say it. I read the comment. And, you form your own opinion. Maggie Wiggs, the Donnie Wiggs.
Let FDLE form their own opinion.
Yeah, or let the FDLE. Yep, JFK wants our guns. Well,
It's not JFK, it's RFK.
RFK, yeah. But we know what you mean.
Good.
Yes, sir. I stopped watching news for a while. Watching the results, Trump's winning everywhere. Well, I figured that was coming. Hey, it was a matter of time, B, before both sides, the Democrats sides are getting tired of this. Both sides are getting tired of this garbage, and we're finally, hopefully, B, we're starting to think rationally as people and going, hey, enough's enough, and we need to make change. And I like what you said earlier about, hey, let's all go back to the gold standard. And you see this stuff dissipate? I wish we could be. I wish we could.
Well, you're
Zach
talking,
Edey,
in order to be able to go back to the gold standard, the problem is there still gold in this country in Fort Knox?
Yep.
It hasn't been audited in
Years. Probably longer than that, right?
50 years. I
Yeah,
think.
at least.
So what is in Fort Knox? That's where we kept all the gold.
Mm-hmm.
What's in it now? Where did it go if it's not there?
Right.
That's the first thing. Is there enough money? Is there enough gold to back our money? The answer is going to be no because of our debts. That's the first problem that we're going to have to address is getting rid of the debt.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next problem is going to be you are going to deal with some extremely powerful men who are bankers.
Mm-hmm.
People like the Rothschilds.
Right.
Who have their claws into this government.
Yep.
Because that's how they make their money. So banks make money. They give out loans, and those loans compound interest, and they make the money off the people. Well, they're also making money off of our federal government because those loans are taken out from our federal government in our names, and there is actually interest added to that amount.
Yep.
So there's very rich, very powerful people who are going to put a lot of political pull into that never happening. And I'm not so sure they won't put more than just political pull into it. But it needs to happen because paper money is a joke.
It is a joke. We can print it off as quickly as anybody can spend it. Joe Starling is watching. Zach Edey is the guy. God darn, why couldn't I think of that, B? Zach Edey.
Yeah.
From Purdue. I just couldn't think of his name. For some reason, it wasn't registering.
It's all right.
Junior Schoening is watching. Donnie Wiggs. Williamson is still running against Joe Biden. Lots of laughs. She's a real witch. Lots of laughs. She tried to do a big ritual against Trump.
Who is this?
Williamson, she says.
You're talking. Oh, God.
I can't think of her first name, and I'm trying to that. At the end of the day, Donnie Byron, you tell me if you agree. We'll just put this to bed. At the end of the day, Donald Trump's going to be the Republican candidate and the Republican nominee.
Absolutely.
So, at the end of the day, Williamson, what's the other, whoever.
Williamson's not even a Republican candidate.
No.
She has nothing to say about this.
That.
The closest person that I saw to Donald Trump was Nikki Haley, and she was way behind.
And
him
she
the
was
last
way
time I
behind.
looked.
And I believe Ellen Disher said that he's kicking the rear end in all the states that's having a primary right now. You were talking about Super Tuesday, and I'll let you talk about that here in just a second. Florida's up by 9 at the half. I'm not surprised about that. That's a give and go game between Bama and them. Y'all need to watch Peanut Hawk on YouTube. Y'all will laugh.
Who?
Peanut Hawk. We'll have to Peanut Hawk.
I don't know what that is.
I'm not sure, but hey, we'll take a look at it. Hey, I'm willing to try anything once.
All the Democrats voted for Nikki Haley, and I know where Donnie gets that from because there are some states that allow everybody to vote in both primaries, which is the height of stupidity. Because you can have a Democrat come in and vote in a Republican primary, and you can have a Republican come in and vote in the Democrat primary, which is crazy.
All right, Donnie Wiggs, I do want to ask you this. He said, when I was younger, we would go pick strawberries in Plant City, and we would drive down our streets and sell them off the back of the truck. Okay, so you tell me, is Plant City strawberries better, or is Bradford County strawberries better? I want to know. He said he did pick them in Plant City, so he's got a taste of all, and we've tasted those down there, and I ain't got nothing against those.
I was about to say, don't get me wrong. Plant City strawberries are good.
There's just something about these. Maybe it's because we live here. I don't know. It's something about them. I've tasted both, and they're both good, like Byron said.
Was it the Normans that had the farm out there?
Normans, yeah.
Man,
they still do, don't they? Do they do a little something?
Ridiculously good.
Donnie Wiggs said, "Oh no, my bad, lots of love. How about the FSU baseball team? And the girls are doing good too." Yeah. By the way, Byron, I don't know if they're winning right now. Maybe Anthony can tell me. FSU's baseball team, when they thought they were going to be in the gutter, they're 10-0. I think one of the only 2 or 3 remaining undefeated teams in the nation. They're playing tonight against JU, I think. I think it's JU or South Florida, one of them. They could go 11-0, and guess what? They weren't even ranked in the polls. When are you going to rank them? When are we going to rank them? Okay, maybe the strength of schedule, those few games that they played were against. Still, if you go, baseball is a funny
It's
sport,
a funny
Byron.
sport. It's a game of streaks, number one.
Yeah.
And any team that gets hot can go on a long winning streak like that.
So you're right. And let me tell you, Florida State's not going to cover off the baseball. They've scored double digits in 8 of those 10 games.
Yeah.
They are not going to cover off this thing. I'm telling you, we're going to have to go watch a baseball game. We're going to go, B, me and you.
Brother, if I never hear strength of schedule again,
Yeah.
I will be a happy person.
Me
It is
too.
absolutely retarded when a team wins as many games as FSU won this last year.
Yep.
And then, you had a sorry strength of schedule. Funny, that same strength of schedule, same teams in the ACC had a winning record against the SEC last year. So that to me says football is played on the field.
Yes.
Not by somebody that looks at it and uses some matrix to decide which conference is better or not. That's
Hey, question, and I don't know if you know, but I'll help you here. Do you know who the number 1 team in the country in baseball is right now?
probably Florida State.
No, they're not ranked, but they will be ranked. They should be. But do you know, it is another ACC team. They were in the College World Series last year, and they're loaded again. WF. Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
Yeah, Wake Forest is the number 1 team in the country. ACC, right?
They were unbelievably good last year.
Yeah,
Wake
boy.
Forest was unbelievably good last year.
You remember those games that they had? Oh, my God.
Pitching and hitting. Yeah, I mean, they had both.
That series between them and LSU
That was a good-
outstanding.
An outstanding series.
Oh, my gosh. All right, let's see.
Some of the best baseball I've seen in a
I've
long
seen,
time.
me too.
In a long time.
Lots of laughs. RFK, one of them drowned a woman, Donnie Wiggs said.
RFK.
Okay. Get it?
That was
RFK?
Oh, no, you're
a long time
Is he?
ago.
Do you know what he's talking about?
he's talking about Chappaquiddick.
Okay,
Is what he's
okay,
talking about.
okay.
That wasn't RFK.
All right. David Rodgers said he's stomping a Mississippi mud hole in Haley right now. Oh, I bet. Well, Ellen Disher-Williams said he's winning everywhere. Dave, I don't know if you have access or I can pull it up. We can start looking at some of these primary results because it's after 7 now. I know there's some Western states going on. It's 8:10 local time here. Byron, you going to pull it up?
Oh, I think I just
Byron, that's okay, brother. That's okay. I got it. And I'll read off some of these.
I had that actually pulled up.
Donnie Wiggs. All the Democrats voted for Haley. It's still... That's pretty funny. Lots of laughs. Funny. Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
I'm only voting for Trump. I gotcha. I'm watching a WWE cage match. Now you're talking up my alley. Used to be talking up my alley. Donnie Wiggs, real quick. Did you ever come watch one of my wrestling shows, one of our wrestling shows, CWA, when we was running here and start from 2004 to 2014? That was me, Dave Holland, always filming. We had Steve Wicks, who was my partner at the time, better known, a.k.a. Eclipse.
Yep.
Eclipse. He was there. The Rick the Reaper and Wildman Brody and all their characters. I'll tell you, hey, go on to YouTube. Anybody that's watching, go to YouTube, type in CWA Stark or Coastal Wrestling Stark. I'm trying to remember which one. On YouTube, there is a strap match. Me and Big Kevin Howe, who used to be, he's doing this radio station now.
Strap that was
So,
a belt on.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was called a strap match, but it was a lumber belt. It was a drive belt
off a plane machine.
off a plane machine. And, man, we were strapping each other with it. It was against Wildman Brody and Rick the Reaper. Oh, yeah. The welts on my back. And I hope I've had some pictures. Maybe, David, we're going to see if we can find some pictures of that and see. But anyway, yeah, what do you have, B? Plant City, because he said Plant City because he picked them by hand. So he's giving the edge to Plant City. Hey, nothing wrong with that, Donnie. I'm okay with that. And we made money off of them. Yep. Great job, guys. Thank you, sir. That could make the change and make them taste real good. Lots of laughs. Crystal David. Good afternoon, brothers. Good afternoon to you. He says, lots of laughs. I know. He said, it is what it is. 6-foot giant. Yes. Really a 7-foot giant if you're talking about the Eclipse, because he's about 6'11". Glenn Reeder's watching. 6'7". Donnie Wiggs said, yep. Hey, Tina. And Sting's last match the other night. Yes.
Yep.
I've seen that all over. And I knew he was retiring. What a great career. Is it okay?
Do you want to come back? We want to go back on for a little while.
Yeah, I do. I want to come back on if we can.
Back up.
Okay, we're back up. Let's see who comes in there. Let's see. There's 2. Come back, guys. If you lost signal, there's Mitchell Gunner. He's still watching. By
There
the
we go.
way,
It's coming back now.
yeah, it is coming back strong, isn't it? So, anyway, want to talk about Mitchell Gunner real quick before we get into these things. Mitchell Gunner's On the Spot Motorsports media page. Want you to tune in there each and every Thursday night that he's got a guest on and he does a show. Please tune in if you're a motorsport enthusiast of any kind. That's the show you want to go to. Great page, great followings, a lot of trends, a lot of hits.
There we go.
We're thanking Mitchell Gunner for the work that he does, and Robert, his co-host. They do a phenomenal job. Maybe Mitchell can tell us who he's going to have on here this next Thursday. But make sure you tune in. He's going to be video streaming and live streaming the Gator Nationals. Of course, his races that he's involved in, and a lot of things coming up March and April as far as motorsports go. Tune in to On the Spot Motorsports media page with Mitchell Gunner and Robert each and every Thursday night at 7 p.m. All right, here we go. Let's see. Let me Sting. Okay, Byron Bagwell. Mitchell Gunner's back on. Drew Mullins is back on. Gator Nationals weekend. Yes, it is. I hope to go out there with you, Mitchell. I know you got some help out there, but I know you'll be doing some interviews and some things like that. You won't be doing as much live streaming on that, but I know you'll be doing some interviews, so we'll be glad to see that on the page. Shirley Bagwell says it's back. Your signal keeps going out. We're back, and David Versace this Saturday from Gainesville Raceway. Absolutely, you'll be there. Doug Foley, Top Fuel driver, is going to be in the interview on Thursday night. So make sure he'll be at the Gator Nationals. Make sure Doug Foley is going to be Mitchell Gunner's guest this Thursday night in 2 days at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can catch that all on the Motorsports page, On the Spot Motorsports media page. Eric Cagle's watching, one of our trivia, Scrapola there. Yeah. We call him Eric the Red. And Megan Church is watching. I haven't heard from Megan in a while, B.
Wow, no.
Yeah.
But she's
been busy, I know.
With her child.
With her child, yeah. So I'm glad.
And her business. I think I saw something about that she'd come back and.
Yeah, she would.
Started running her business again.
Yeah, absolutely. On Saturday after qualifying. Yes, Mitchell, absolutely. Byron, while we got the signal strong and while we got the signal up, where do you want to start first? Do you want to start?
I want to start with Super Tuesday.
Okay, let's start with Super Tuesday. Hey, Eric,
I really wanted to start somewhere else, but we're going to start with Super Tuesday because the signal's this way.
Yeah.
Super Tuesday is when a group of, for the primaries, is a day that a group of 15 states have their primaries. And those 15 states are Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, and Virginia.
Nice.
And it will both primaries happen this night. So we will pretty much know the results of those by the ends of the nights unless something shady. I wanted to say shady.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Unless something shady happens. So what we'll see is a number of delegates, because they use the same system basically the same system we use as the Electoral College to determine the presidential candidates from each political party. And I may be mistaken about this too, but I think the independents run the same, and the other parties can run their primaries during the same time. So any party like the Socialist Party of America or the Constitutionalists of America or the Conservative Party, the Independents, the Marxist group, I can't remember what they call themselves, but they all have it at the same
The George
time.
Soros Foundation's running.
I wish it would run somewhere else.
Yeah, me too. So we're allowed to say we? Well, no.
What,
I
evil
want to.
never dies?
Yeah, that for sure. I'd like to tell them where they can run themselves.
But anyway, we're all going off the rail again.
Yeah, we are. But I'm sorry. Buddy. I'm sorry.
It's all right, brother. We're allowed to do that every once in a while. But the tonight's a good night, and it will be a very good indication of who is going to actually end up running for president. Donald Trump is far in the lead in the votes for it. He's 288 delegates to 16, I think it was. Give me the.
Whoo, really? Is it that much of a landslide?
That's so far. This night's not
Okay,
over.
yeah, it's not. No, it's not.
See, that's the problem. This night's not over.
No.
43. It's not 16.
Okay.
43. Nikki Haley has 43 delegates. Donald Trump has 288. Ron DeSantis has 9. Thank you, God. He dropped out January the 21st. Thank God. No disrespecting.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not disrespecting anybody that would want to vote for Ron DeSantis for president. But I am a person that really believes that we need Ron DeSantis here for one more term. Then he can go run for Senate or run for president and probably do something with that. Mm-hmm. It's a mistake to run against Donald Trump.
It is.
He is a force of nature, and the people that love him are not going to vote for anybody else. Like I said, Ron DeSantis would be a great presidential candidate to me, but not against Donald Trump. And I've always messed Ron Swami's last name up, and I don't think I just did just then.
Ron Swami, yeah.
He dropped out January the 15th. He only had 3 delegates, and the rest of them are long gone. I think the real question that is now, who is Donald Trump going to pick as a vice president? That is really a candidate, vice president candidate. Don't want to put the cart before the horse.
Right.
Who is he going to pick? And there's a lot of people out there saying a lot of different things. And my opinion on that is somebody that's not. I personally would pick, because this man is a very intelligent man, and they could not use a certain card that the Democrats like to play all the time if they pick this man. Mm-hmm. And that's Scott out of South Carolina, who also run. I think he's a brilliant man. I think he's a conservative. I don't think he's perfect. I don't think anybody's perfect. But I think he would make a great vice president. And by the way, more experience up there in Washington, D.C. He's already been a senator. But more experience up there in Washington, D.C. If he ended up running and winning the primaries after Donald Trump's gone for 4 years, I would vote for him, because he's a very intelligent man who has the best for this country in his heart.
But let me read a couple, and then I want to ask you a question in regards to this.
Sure.
What you said about the vice president, and I want to throw something out to you. You tell me if you agree or disagree or think it's a bad idea. Megan Church says, "Hello, guys. Hey, we're glad you're on. Dave Holland's watching." Really? Okay. Mitchell Gunner, I know, and so does B. I know you have an announcement next Tuesday afternoon. You can make it right here on this show if you want.
Oh, please do.
We would love to hear that.
Let you speak, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you wanted to come on, you are welcome on this show anytime. You know that. This is our show. It's all of our shows, just like your show is ours. You come on. Next Tuesday afternoon at 7 p.m., you be right here, and you can make that announcement. Absolutely. And it's going to be big time. It's going to shock the world. All right. You guys are hot tonight. Thank you about that. Before we talk about the South Carolina decision not to allow states to keep Trump off their ballot, I want to ask Byron something.
That was one of the next things
he was going to talk about. Okay. You were talking about candidates, and you like Scott, and I agree. I like him.
He's just one. There are really good people.
Can I throw another name out?
Sure.
I don't know what it is about this lady that I really like. I think she's done some great things in the past. Mm-hmm. I think she's done some great things in sports. You know where I'm going with this. And I think she would be a hell of a vice presidential candidate myself. And she's got a great education. She went to Stanford University. And I think Condoleezza Rice would make a great partner for Donald Trump. Couple of things here. First of all, she's a very intelligent woman. She knows her stuff. She's been in offices that required smartness about them. Me personally, I like Condoleezza Rice. I always have. But you tell me your opinion. And if you disagree with me, brother, it's okay.
I don't have an issue with Condoleezza Rice at all. She would be a very good vice presidential candidate. The question is, after she's retired from this mess, would she ever want to get back in that swamp? Because I don't want to say the other word that I want to say ever again and have to deal with the nonsense that goes up on in Washington, D.C. That would be my only question about Condi.
I want to hear you guys.
How much she would really be into.
Yeah, if she's really back into.
If she would really want to get back into politics like that.
Yeah, and Tim Scott is a great choice, but I'm going to let Byron address the SC decision about that. That was something that he was going to talk about.
Tim Scott, when I realized Tim Scott was running for president, and he started talking about that, I thought, there is no way in the world he is going to win this against Donald Trump. There's no way in the world, as if I was in politics, I'd run in a primary against Donald Trump. There's no way. Because you're not going to win a Republican primary against Donald Trump. You would have to be Ronald Reagan resurrected and allowed to run for a third term to beat Donald Trump. I'm being honest. It's about the only way you would find somebody that's going to beat him in a Republican primary. There are other good people out there too.
Yes, there is.
There's a name that's being thrown around that I honestly I think he's a very intelligent man, and it would the things that would come out of this man's mouth, the vice president's office, would have me rolling and applauding the whole entire time. But I don't think he will do that, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of a clue who it is. This name is honestly being thrown around. He used to be an anchor on Fox News, and he used to have his own show on Fox News. Used to. It's not Mark Levin. I know it's not Mark Levin. That would be fire, because Mark Levin...
I was just going to say, that's swamp water, ain't it? Swamp fire or whatever.
Fire, because Mark Levin could back up everything legally that he says. But... you know who we're talking about, don't you? Mm-hmm. We're talking about Tucker.
Yep.
There is actual talk about Tucker being Donald Trump's vice president.
Now, is that talk from political figures or political analysts and consultants, or is that hearsay for now? Or
Glenn Beck was talking about it.
Okay.
There's some people that he talked to.
I want to say Mark Levin talked about it too.
Politics. Mark Levin may have talked about that. Look. You want to talk about night and day compared to what we have now? That's a great choice too, but I'm not. How many people is that turn off though? That's the question I have. If you put Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson in that same thing, there's going to be a percentage of the Republicans you are going to turn off. Because both of them are going to tell things like they are, and they're not going to have tact about it.
Right.
So,
I fully agree with that.
It would tickle me to no end. It would tickle me to no end to see him in the vice president's office. Man, oh my goodness. Hey, Don, it's my turn to go to the press conference. Let me take care of this one.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, and Donald, you take a little bit of a breather. Go have some lunch. I'll take this one. Yeah.
I know what you want me to say. I'll take care of this one. And I'll give them your regards, too. I mean, there's also. I mean, I would laugh. I really would. They deserve it, by the way. The press is duplicit in this crap that we're going through. So,
would Donald even get a chance to talk? If Tucker was in there, he'd be up there all the time.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
He's interviewed Donald Trump before, and I think they would play off of each other like me and David play off each other. Mm-hmm. I think there would be some of, like we do, run over each other sometimes, but I think they would play off of each other really well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what was good?
Ellen Disher Williams made me laugh here.
Funny that is.
A lot of liberals, man, she capitalized that because they followed the Constitution. Oh,
they're not liberals.
They're not liberals.
They're not
Byron, we talked about that.
They're socialists.
Yes.
Say what? Seriously, label them for what they really are. There is nothing liberal about them. You want to know one of the truest liberals ever to live? It was Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
You didn't say things like all men were created equal at that point in time. That didn't happen. There were kings. He was the biggest liberal at that point in time.
Yep, exactly right.
They were all liberal to a point. I mean, what we call liberalism now is nothing more than a veil. It's nothing more than a veiled word for socialist Marxist. That's what they are. They're just lying socialists.
Yep.
This is truth.
Let's see here. I'm just glad that we got to keep DeSantis for another 4. Yes, and I think we. How long ago was that, Dave? We did that show.
That he didn't start to poll well. I'm sorry for those people who really wanted Ron DeSantis.
And I did. I was one.
Because I don't have an issue with Ron DeSantis being our president. I just don't. I wanted him here.
Yeah.
So, Candace Owens. You talk about another one that would be fire.
Yep. Exactly.
And she's extremely smart too. And she'd be another one to tell Donald, hey, go take a break. I got it. Check off 2 boxes right there of 2 cards that they can't play. Again.
Yes.
But it just is what it is. That we'll figure out who he wants. It will be a smart decision unless he starts caving into the pressure of the Republican Party and they want somebody like Nikki Haley, which I highly doubt will happen.
So Johnny Watterson said, thoughts on Christie for vice president?
Christie, no.
You probably know a little more about this one than I do.
That's the governor of...
She's one of the Dakotas.
She's a female governor, and I can't remember which.
I can't remember which. Is it one of the Dakotas?
I think so.
It's one of the Dakotas, I think.
She would be good. I wouldn't have too much of an issue with that. I know that I've heard some things that she said and she's done that I've shook my head about, but I mean, you're not talking about Chris Christie. I mean, she wouldn't be bad.
No,
I wouldn't have an issue.
I don't have a problem with that.
But it's going to be a process, and we need to wait and see. And there is going to be lots of things that are rumors that are flying around about who this is going to be, and I would take them all with a grain of salt until Donald Trump goes. There's 3 people in the running for this, and it's this one, and this one, and then we can start the whole entire thing.
South Dakota. South Dakota.
I knew she was a governor from one of the Dakotas. I just couldn't remember which one it was.
Scott Munnings, good night, sir, and hope to see you next week. I know it's 8:33 Eastern Time. We're going to start wrapping up the show. Do want to get one more thing, and we'll continue this conversation through the weeks out for sure, because this is going to be a hot topic. Of course, the general election's coming up in November, so we've got a lot of things that Byron and myself are going to go over. But Byron, did you want to add one more thing before we go into that next topic?
You're talking about my next topic, or the
was you going to hit on what we've seen in California today?
Really quick before we go into that. Donald Trump won the Supreme Court decision against Colorado, 9-0.
Yes.
Liberal judges, if you want to call them that, socialist judges and all, said you can't do that. That's unconstitutional. Now, that being said, what does Colorado do if they've already run the primary? Just a question to think about, which they haven't.
All
I
right.
don't think they have.
So, Byron, I called you today. We talked a little bit like we always do. And somebody at work almost gave me a big-time scare. And I was like, there ain't no way on God's green earth that this could happen, Dave. I'm telling you, there's no way that this could happen. He come and told me, while I was sitting in my tool room when I almost fell backwards in my chair,
Listen to this.
that Newsmax,
It's close.
yes, Newsweek, whatever.
No. What he was saying is close to actually what is happening.
Yeah, what is happening. So he said he's seen this feed, so I went and tried to look for it, and I couldn't find anything. But Byron, my investigator, did find a little something here. Anyway, this young man, older guy, come and told me, call him a young man, said, hey, did you hear what's going on in California? I was like, well, there's a lot of things going on in California. Y'all can chime in if you want, guys. I said, what is it? He said, did you hear that the state of California was going to allow, this is the way he put it to me now, and we're going to get to allow, go ahead and say it, B, to allow what?
He's laughing because it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
To allow illegal
Immigrants.
illegal aliens,
Yes.
excuse me, to actually become
Police officers.
and enforce our laws.
Laws, and put most of them helping the border control. I said, you're absolutely kidding me. I don't believe that for a minute. There is no way. I know California's done some weird things, and I get it, but this one they cannot possibly do. No way. So I talked to Byron because I was a little shell-shocked.
Right.
And Byron actually found something, and I'm going to read it to you. So go ahead and go with what you were saying.
That's illegal aliens policing illegal aliens.
It's illegal, period.
Not to mention, you're talking about American citizens coming in back and forth around the border.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're talking.
I'm sorry, you're an American citizen. You got to wait. Illegal alien, come on through.
Okay.
Nothing surprises me.
Nothing surprised me. Anyway, so Byron did a little research. Thank goodness he did, my buddy old pal. California bill allows non-citizens with work permits to become police officers. Here is the read. A California bill allows non-citizens with valid work authorization to become police officers. The bill does not extend those rights to those without legal migratory status. However, contrary to what is being shared by posts on social medias. The text in one post here reads, SB-960 changes California law so that police officers no longer need to be either U.S. citizens or even legally in the country. So if you're arrested, it could be by an otherwise illegal alien. Here's the gee whiz. Yeah, no doubt.
That's not what it says.
Right. Another post reads, and I'm just giving you a little background. Another post reads in part, the bill makes no distinction between legal and illegal immigrants. The post refers to Bill SB-960, which can be seen, introduced on February the 9th of 2022, 2 years ago, by California State Senator Nancy Skinner. The bill would remove the provision that requires peace officers to either be a citizen of the United States or to be a permanent resident who is eligible for and has applied for U.S. citizenship, and would instead require peace officers be legally authorized to work in the United States and make conforming changes, the bill reads. Peace officers is a term used to refer to different law enforcement positions, such as a police officer or a sheriff or anything really to do with Homeland Security, let's call it.
No, it can't be Homeland Security. Homeland Security is federal.
Well, that's true. But if they pass this bill, they could, or if this bill was active, why wouldn't it stop them from applying for Homeland Security? I'm not saying they would get hired. I'm not saying they would get hired, but why wouldn't they? I know this is a state law.
I don't think you can do that under federal law.
We've seen others, right? But you're right. You may be right. You may be right. A March 18, 22 hearing of the Senate Committee on Public Safety clarified that among the categories of work authorized non-citizens that would likely be eligible are permanent workers, immigrant visa based on employment, asylees and refugees, and individuals who are protected under the Program of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA.
Oh my God.
Yeah, oh yeah, gets better. Robert Gammon, spokesperson for Skinner, told Reuters via email that the claim is false, saying SB 960 only allows non-citizens with full federal legal work authorization to become police officers in California. This is also stated in a Senate analysis of the bill titled 08/15/22 Senate Floor Analysis. It is a violation of federal law to work in the U.S. without a valid work authorization, period. Go ahead, B.
First off, the bill doesn't support what's being said in a way, and it does support what was being said in a way.
Yes.
Because, honestly, do you trust California? Do you trust the government in California to be honest with those people and not teach them how to get a green card without actually being here the right way? I mean, you're talking about people that are giving people driver's license that are not American citizens. So why would you trust anybody in that government to do anything the right way? There's no way to trust them. There's no way to know. This is a blatant violation of our rights. Mm-hmm. We are American citizens. There's no way in the world that you should allow anybody else, and I don't care if they've got a green card, to become a police officer and enforce our laws. I don't care what this bill says. That I would oppose it either way, and I oppose it the way it is because California is just an absolute corrupt mess. If you don't believe it, take a look at what San Francisco looked like 20 years ago, and take a look at what San Francisco looks like now. Their politicians are the ones that have done it. If you want an even bigger contrast, go back when Ronald Reagan was actually the governor of California, and take a look at what California was actually then, because it was a Republican state back at that point. You cannot allow a person who is not a citizen of the United States to enforce our laws. Under federal regulations, you can't get a job at all doing that as a federal law enforcement agent. The state shouldn't be allowed to do that either. And I really wish the person that was supposed to be our special guest tonight would have been here.
Yeah.
Because I would have asked Gordon, what do you think about allowing somebody that's not a citizen of this country to enforce law?
No, but you want to? Let's go ahead and answer for him, because I know what he would have said.
Hire somebody like that? No.
So, going to some of the comments here, and I just want to get that. And guys, it really floored me when I heard this. And then, like I said, as we started reading this and getting into it, I was like, there is no way. Byron, there was no way on God's green earth that this could happen. So, like we said, we did a research. I read what was going on. So, Ellen Disher Williams says they have lost their minds a long time ago. Time to kick California out of the Republic, Frank Cruz says. Dave Holland Jr. is watching.
Let him go. I don't have an issue with that. Let him go.
And I knew this, Frank, and I'm going to get to that in just a second. Johnny Waterson said Sylvester Stallone is leaving California to live in Florida, according to other news outlets. I did see that. And I heard this, Frank, and I'm going to ask Byron if he heard it. He said that the Red Cross is providing maps for illegals. I have heard the same thing. I don't know if you heard it. I have seen things about that.
No, we're giving them cell phones. We're giving them maps.
Giving them medicine.
Giving them medicine. They're getting free government assistance on how to do different things.
Yeah.
How to cheat our system. Seen proof of that. There's multiple videos out there that will show you on those websites how they do it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's that.
Ellen Disher Williams said for her daughter, except 10 times worse.
Oh,
At that point, when they wasn't into crooked activities and doing crooked things, and I'm talking about our FBI, come out to my house, to my neighbor's house, to my second grade teacher, to my first grade teacher, to my sixth grade teacher, and any place I worked, everything they could find out about me, it took me a year to get that particular type of clearance. By the time they went through everything and do everything, oh, and by the way, no, there's tests that were being run too, and those I'll just leave it at that.
Don't get.
No, I'm not. I'm not because I don't know who's listening here, and that's exactly right. I'm not. But there were certain things that had to be done, and it took me a year to get that. And for a year, I had to do other jobs until I could do my official job in the U.S. Navy. Probably took the same thing with you, with what you did. And we don't want you to say anything. Sure.
I had a Marine at my front door and a badge I had to wear before I can go into my workplace.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. For sure. There's no doubt about it. And I'll tell you this. With those things that we had to go through, and I'm talking all three of us, those things that we had to go through, and what Ellen Disher Williams' daughter had to go through, do you think, as Byron said, do you think, and I'm just going to propose a question to you out here, do you think in any kind of type of way that they're going to give an illegal immigrant a badge and a sidearm and authority?
See, that's,
You have got to be absolutely kidding me, Byron. If you think that, you may want to move somewhere else, because I'm telling you, that does not happen here. It just can't.
David,
anything can happen.
the problem is who has a green card and who really doesn't have a green card. And I realize that's federal, but if you don't think the people, those politicians in California would help somebody get around the system with that?
Yeah.
And then when you do a background check, because in order to become a police officer, there's background checks and investigations into your background. How do you figure out this person's background? And where are we flying somebody to go check out this person's background? And who do we go check out? And can we find anybody to check out?
Yeah, and that's exactly right. So I'm not buying that for a buck. Is anything possible? Absolutely.
In California?
It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this all turns out. 8:50 Eastern Time, David Rodgers, the Byron Bagwell, Dave Holland. I know it's getting late here. Want to close out the show. Byron, let's do our last thoughts.
Sure.
And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Thank you, Ellen Disher. Well, absolutely. And Shirley was saying this out, but I think we got that fixed. Dave, I'm going to go to you. Final thoughts on anything that we've talked about or anything that you know that's coming up, whatever. Give you a final thought. 30 seconds.
As far as elections, everybody just think about the person that you are going to choose. Bam.
Research them too.
Research.
Yep.
Do your research.
B, I'm going to go to you.
This is completely off topic.
Okay.
And I'll get a little bit of an answer for you, and we'll set this up for next week.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
Is God omnipotent?
Huh?
Is God omnipotent?
Is God omnipotent? Okay. Hey.
Is the brief answers,
Okay.
and then I'll get to the actual final thought.
Okay.
Yes, no.
Oh, for me and Dave?
Yeah.
Because I know what that word means.
I don't.
Does he know everything that has happened and will happen?
I say yes.
Yes.
Okay, so when this is the setup for this, and I want everybody to think about this weekend. When the snake tempted Eve with the fruit of the tree of knowledge, and then Eve tempted Adam with the fruit of the tree of knowledge, did God know that was going to happen? And if he did, why would he allow that to happen?
That's a great question, and I've got an answer for you next week.
Oh, this is a great discussion.
Absolutely.
It gives into why America was founded.
Mm-hmm. And you're right, it does. All right.
My son's got a good answer for that, too.
Yeah, well, we'll love him to chime in. He'll be watching. Absolutely, we want him to chime in. My final thought is sort of off what we talked about, except some of the local stuff. First of all, it was a great show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Me and this man bouncing back and forth. This man bouncing back and forth. This is what this show's all about. Yes, do we walk over sometimes? Yeah, absolutely. But you know what it is? I can tell you it's not that.
It's passion.
It's the heat of the moment. Asia, in the heat of the moment. Right? I just had to bring up a song reference. Yeah, hey, maybe we can get Dave. Maybe we get Dave to play that one day. Because we get kicked off. Yes, we do. Yeah. We're going to figure out a way around that. But anyway, this is we get past on what we talked about. And it was a great show. I thought the topics great. I want to continue them. I want to continue with the follow-up stuff from local and from what we talked about. But I want to say, and I've heard people say, sometimes I don't know what's going on at Bradford High School. Well, if you want to know what's going on at Bradford High School, I'll give you two things. You can call Shelly Rodgers, and she'll tell you what's going on. Or look at your kids' Chromebooks, because sometimes they're not telling you exactly what's going on. And all the information is from there. And also, when I go over Bradford stuff, Chris Coffey sends out a report every Friday afternoon when he can, and it gives everything that is going on at Bradford High School. Byron, you're seeing it, right? Yeah. I could have read this off. Tells you who the top students are, the top tornadoes, parent conference night, all kinds of stuff. I had some people ask me, how come my kid don't tell me this or that? Because your kid is not going to really sit there and tell you what's going on. He's got or she's got other things on her mind. You need to get their Chromebook. All that information is in there. Second thing is please support the Bradford County Fair this week. Hopefully the weather maybe it'll turn. I don't think it's supposed to rain tomorrow, B. I wish we had Austin Stevens here. It ain't supposed to rain tomorrow and Thursday. Go out there. We're not having trivia, by the way, this Thursday. I meant to tell you. No trivia on Thursday night at the Downtown Grill. I'm not sure if it's happening at Fun Point. I didn't get anything from Michael Heater on that. I would not think so, because Michael is part of the Bradford County Fair Board, and he's probably out there working. But you will need a follow-up on that. Also, support the Bradford County Strawberry Festival that's coming up. 2 big-time events. Please. Yes, you're going to have vendors out there. Me and Byron's talked about this. That's going to be selling strawberries. Buy as much as you can and what you can afford to buy, and help all these people that are growing these strawberries that we know personally, growing these strawberries, people that are selling goods out there, selling food. Please support your vendors. We're going to be out there, and we're going to give we're going to keep giving the old rigmarole there about what's going on. But hey, support your local community. Support everything that's going on here.
Absolutely.
Because without you guys, man, this county doesn't happen. And we try to bring the information as much as we can. Me and Byron and you, we sit here and talk about the information that we should put out. We try to put out as much as we can. We're trying to hit every topic really within a 2-hour slot.
Because as much as we get passionate about things,
yes,
and we get excited about things and about a bunch of different topics, it's really hard to bring everything into it.
It really is. We really, take the topics that Byron was talking about tonight, not even the local stuff. take the topics that Byron was talking about tonight. We talked about, what, 3 or 4 different topics? Man, one of those topics, Byron, we could have spent all night on.
I could spend the whole night on all 3 of them.
But, yeah. I mean,
I have a whole lot to say about that Supreme Court decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to, like he said, we're going to keep talking about that and the things that are coming up. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Y'all are the guys that make this show. We're just
thank you guys.
A couple of mouthpieces, a couple of pretty faces here, right along with Dave's pretty face.
Wait a minute.
Well, we are, B.
Okay.
We are. Hey, and on Friday nights we got pretty faces too, don't we?
Yeah, really pretty faces.
We're both for tornado football. Yeah.
Well, I just like to say, on a serious note,
Yep.
Bike Week is kicked off.
Oh, yep.
There's motorcycles everywhere.
Nationals, motorcycles everywhere.
Be careful. Look out for
Yes.
those motorcycles.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a sprinkle, bikes are going to be out on the road. Mm-hmm. And we don't need nobody killed.
I like that, Dave. Absolutely. That's a great way to end the show. Just want to get to a couple of comments here. Let's see. Ellen Disher Williams. I'd have to go street justice on those sick assholes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes. I love this. Man, that is so great. Ellen Disher Williams. You mean the Ganja Queen?
Who are the Ganja Queen?
Yeah, David Versace.
Who are we talking about? The Ganja
Queen? Oh my goodness. Taylor Sierra Williams is watching.
Oh, the Ganja Queen, man.
You F up.
Make it too much, man.
Yeah, man, yeah. UF up by 23 on Bama. Woo! That sounds like a slow ass kicking. Or a quick ass kicking. Love the show and appreciate y'all. We appreciate you, Ellen. We can't do this show without you guys. We got to have you. We got to have somebody to bounce some stuff off of. We've got to have some viewers and some listeners of what we're saying. But no, thank you, honestly. We really appreciate all you guys. If there's anything, Byron, that people need to ask, hey, we're on social media, right? Are you on social media?
If I have an answer for it, I'll give it.
And if we don't, we'll find it. We'll find it. That's for sure. Vicky Newton. Man, some people, Dave's got me laughing here, Ganja Queen. But anyway, some viewers that I'm not even seeing regularly. Vicky Newton's watching. We've got some people, Byron, that is coming on that I'm not really aware of. But if you're just now joining, tell them how they can do it, Dave. Hey, just go to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Open the page up. Hit the like button. If you hit the like button, when Dave comes on the air and does that intro, it's going to go ping. And you're going to know that we're on. And if Byron can't make it, I'm here. If I'm not here, Byron's here. And if we're both feeling rough or something's going on, well, we just postpone the show to the following week, and we just get y'all more excited and more interested. Byron, what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing a lot more people really tuning in and staying with us those couple hours, and I'll tell you why. Local segment's good. We put out a lot of stuff in the local segment. We talk sports. We talk a little bit about everything. But those national topics, people want to know. Why? Because it filters down and it affects what we do each and every day.
Well, it's something that everybody is interested in because it's affecting all of our lives, David.
Absolutely.
The condition of the economy of this country is sad.
It's very sad.
I mean, you can't buy a gallon of milk for less than $4.
Nope.
4 years ago, I could buy a gallon of milk for $2 or less, depending on where I bought it from. The inflation's terrible. So, and they can say about what they want to about it turning around. That's nonsense.
4 years ago, I could go to McDonald's, and I'm going to leave you with this. 4 years, I could go to McDonald's and get me any one of those meals for $6.99, $7.99. Now, it's $9.99, $10.99, $11.99 for some of those. And the reason I know is because me and my buddy Shane at work, we go out for lunch each and every day, and I'm going to stop that garbage. And for both of us, Byron, and you know, you're on the road, you stop and eat.
$25-$30.
Oh, baby. 30, 35, and you don't get jack. Hey, today, just prime example, real quick. Today, we went and got McDonald's.
Yeah.
I ordered the chicken nugget meal, okay, with a side McChicken. Sweet tea, he got something similar. $28, $28 B. And let me tell you, I asked for what? Sweet and sour sauce. He told them to put sweet and sour sauce in a bag. He brings the food back. We're sitting there, and I'm like, where's the sweet and sour sauce?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Negative, Ghost Rider. They didn't put it in there. We've had meals like that where that like the added stuff, they don't give a crap, buddy. $15 an hour, and you can go screw yourself. Pretty much.
$15 an hour anymore. It's up to 17 something an hour, and it will be $20 an hour at the end of this year.
Yeah.
In Florida.
The dollar,
$20 an hour.
the dollar Coke, no more.
Oh no, absolutely not. It's $2.99 for sure, at the very least. I know some places, Byron, $3.49, $3.99, and $4.99.
You can't, and I don't do Taco Bell very often. But you can't get anything for Taco Bell for under $2. $1.69, still gonna be $2 when you close to $2 when you add tax to it.
Yeah.
You can't get anything, and that's Taco Bell. I remember when tacos were like 50 cents a piece at Taco Bell.
Well, good night.
Hey, Frank Cruz, thank you. Good night, guys. Love the show. Thank you very much. Taylor Williams said, not to mention the rates on houses and cars right now. Absolutely. We can talk about that next week. Inflation is terrible, your mom said. By the way, Shirley, I didn't get a chance. Hello. I'm glad you're back. I love you. Hope Donnie's feeling better. And I love you guys. And hopefully, I forgot, we're not having trivia this Thursday, so give us a little bit of a break. But we'll be back next Thursday.
Well, that's right.
There is no, and I wanted to tell her that. So
the fair.
Because of the fair, yeah. Remember they was.
Dad's been feeling bad.
Dad's same problem.
Same thing, yeah.
Same problems. Yeah, he's going to have issues as long as it's pollen.
I thought
The pollen, yeah.
Thought maybe he might have drank the water or something.
No.
Ella Disher Williams said a loaf of bread. Absolutely. Byron mentioned the milk. I normally pack my kids' lunches on a daily basis. This year it ended up being cheaper to buy the school lunches because the prices of the same things I bought last year are more than double.
That's right.
2.5, as a matter of fact. I seen that on a feed. 2.5% up. Or double, 2 times that. In other words, a loaf of bread back 3 or 4 years ago, $1.89. Yeah. Now, what is it, Byron? $3.69? Yeah. Depends on what you get, right? Or is it more than that?
And I want everybody to understand this. This has nothing to do with the businessmen.
No, absolutely not.
When you hear that nonsense, all you've got to do is go, no, it has nothing to do with businessmen. Businessmen are in business to do one thing, and that is to make money. If they are not in business to make money, their businesses do not last long. When it goes up to $20 an hour this next year, it's going to be even higher than it is now. Mm-hmm. We have allowed our social conscience to say that people need a living wage as a minimum wage. That is ridiculous.
Nothing changes. The price goes up, the wages go up, everything follows suit.
That's why
our business,
except our wages.
That's why inflation incurs right there.
That's part of why inflation goes up. You're absolutely right. But when you look at a businessman and say, you're paying $20 an hour to these people, by law, that businessman is going to go, okay, my profit margin is not going to change because I started this business to make money, whether it's for me and my family, or it's me personally, or it's me and my descendants. I started this to make money.
The sad part is Social Security stays almost the same.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. And I want to say
everything goes up for that. Other than that,
I want to say something to that. Byron was talking about the businessman. I'm going to keep my profit margin. I'm going to keep hey, I opened this business for a reason. I'm going to keep my profit margin. Yes, I'm going to pay you $15, $20, whatever it is. Well, guess what? That businessman, to keep up his profit margin, ain't going to eat those losses. Who does it go to? It passes on to the consumers.
Yeah.
That's the way that works.
Yeah.
And you know what? It ain't. I still see Byron in Lake City, in Gainesville, and I know you see it too, probably more than me. All these people are still flooding those restaurants. I'm guilty of it too. Hey, if I want to go to a Texas Roadhouse to get me a nice steak, guess what? I'm going, and I know I'm going to pay an exuberant price for it.
Let's say that I have been working in a job for a very long time, and I do not make $20 an hour. Okay?
Yep.
When they raise that up to $20 an hour, they legally have to pay me that $20 an hour. But I am going to look at them and tell them that I want $30 an hour.
Absolutely.
And that's going to drive things up too. And don't think that people that are in those shoes aren't going to look at them and go, I have this many years of experience. And you are not paying me like somebody that just walked off the street with a high school diploma and never had a job.
Right.
You're not doing that.
Nope.
I will go find somebody that will.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this show does not make any money.
No.
You guys, we guys,
Yeah.
we don't get paid
No.
for this.
No, we don't.
We spend our own money to make anything and everything
Yes.
happen for you people.
Right.
The viewers.
Right. And that's exactly right. And again, as Dave said, and Byron, I can speak for you, I think, we enjoy doing this.
Yes.
Me, you, and Byron, we love to be together every Tuesday. This is a brotherhood. Include Mitchell and everybody that's involved with the show. Austin, too. We're a brotherhood, and we enjoy doing this show.
Yes.
We do this for the people who's watching, the viewers. Why did this show start? It started on a whim, of course, and we can get into that story later. And the way that we have our guests that are now hosts come on, and we'll get into that all later when we have a fun show one day.
Has anybody ever seen Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
And that's exactly how it started.
That's how I got on the show.
That's how you got on the show. So here's my thing. We do this for the people that can't get their local news, or they can't get one of these to them. People that's got handicaps, people that's got can't move, that got some medical issues.
Can't get to the Chamber of Commerce.
Or anything like that. They usually have their phone, and boy, they can tune in, and that's why we do this show, to help those guys out, to bring the news to them, to bring the things that they need to know that's going to affect their everyday lives. And I just seen that, Byron. I know, man. I know you're trying. I just seen that. Oh boy, I'll read it, but we'll address it later. Taylor Williams, the only thing I've seen drop in prices lately is Disney World tickets.
Boy is Bob Iger and
yes,
and that crazy woman that's running Star Wars in deep trouble.
I can tell
Kennedy,
you,
both of them are in trouble.
I think y'all will agree. That Walt Disney is rolling in his grave right now. I don't know if this would have made it this big, Byron, and it may have, but this is not what Walt Disney's mindset was. If you look at at his story, he wanted a place that was affordable and for kids to enjoy themselves with their families.
Yeah.
And now, how many years later, B? God darn, a bunch. Now it's become a big conglomerate business. Over millions and millions of people visit it, and they're paying these exuberant prices to go in there, and people are still paying it. Hey, I see them all the time. I'm going to Disney, I'm going to wherever, Universal Studios, and they're going, and they don't care, Byron, that they're paying $160, $170, $180, $200. They don't care. They just go.
A person.
Well,
Yep.
it's not a place anymore for you just to go have fun. Of course, we have to have the political indoctrination that goes along with that type of thing now. And that's the biggest problem for a lot of people. They won't set foot in Disney anymore.
Right.
And I'm one of them. They're lucky I still watch the Star Wars stuff. I can't break myself.
No, you're the Star Wars
the first
guy.
movie that I watched when I was 5 years old. I can't help it. I love Star Wars.
And I love Star Trek. We're Wars and Trek, man. Hey, we're good there. Just real quick, Disney's never going to get another penny of Miss Williams' money. Taylor Williams agrees. Jimmy Crosby was on and watching. I guess he came in on late. And Liz Tillery Holler is watching. All right, guys. Love each and every one of you. God bless you. If there's any kind of questions or anything, you can leave it right there. Dave's got it on the bottom of the screen, on the spot. 32091@gmail.com. Any kind of comments, any subjects that you want us to discuss, anything that you want us to research or look into, all you got to do is hit us on that. You can catch us on our social media pages, on our Facebooks or our messengers. That's Dave Holland, Byron Bagwell, and myself. Byron, it's been a great show. Dave, it's been a great show. Hey, all good things must come to an end. God bless you guys. Love each and every one of you. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. See you next Tuesday night. Same bat time, same bat channel.